there's one thing I've learned since I started my channel, it's that people are really, really weird. Take the guy in today's video, for example, from the channel Bible Explored with Graham Pettis. The second you hear him and see his YouTube set, you're instantly gonna recognize who he's a fanboy of.
So there's two types of evolution.
There's no evidence for evolution.
One species evolving into another species. That has never happened. It's never been observed. It is not science.
It's not science.
There are no transitional fossils.
This is propaganda. This is lying. It's not science.
It is not science.
Sorry, my bad. I probably should have told you to pay attention to his t-shirt as well. This shirt evolved from a rock.
Well, ha, ha, ha.
Now, of all the people in the world that you could look up to, Kent Hovind shouldn't even be on that list. So let's have a look, see what this genius has got to say for himself. Please subscribe.
Because I still hold my stance that there is zero evidence for macroevolution. So if you have evidence for macroevolution, I'd love to see it.
Whales. Whales. The swimming kind, I mean, obviously. Now, they started off as land-dwelling mammals, and over millions of years, they evolved into the sea giants we know today. Now, the fossil record shows a clear transition from small four-legged land animals to the aquatic mammals we see now. Key fossils include creatures like Pakicetus, which lived about 50 million years ago and had features of both land mammals and whales. Whales.
Shut up, you little bedend.
And what's really cool is that modern whales still have tiny leg bones inside their bodies, remnants of their land-walking ancestors.
So this is what he says. Look up the fruit fly speciation study. This is observable evidence of speciation happening in real time.
Fruit fly speciation is a fascinating area of study that explores how new species of fruit flies emerge over time. Researchers use Drosophila melanogaster, a type of fruit fly, as a model organism to understand the genetic and evolutionary mechanisms behind speciation. Now, key findings include understanding the molecular clock of fruit fly evolution and revealing how changes in DNA over time correspond with major speciation events.
Macroevolution refers to major evolutionary changes over time, the origin of new species of organisms from previously existing but different ancestral types. Examples of this would be fish descending from an invertebrate animal or whales descending from a land mammal. Man, I'd love to see the fossils here. There are no transitional fossils at all. If you can find some, I'd love to see them.
Now, I'm not really sure why he keeps jumping between whales and fruit flies, but as far as whales are concerned, do we really need transitional fossils? I mean, if you went out and caught a whale today and cut it open, you'd find tiny little leg bones. But I'm feeling extra helpful today, so I will show you. The images on the screen now are all transitional fossils that show the evolution of whales, but I, and probably everyone watching this now, will know that what a creationist expects to see is a fossil that is somehow half whale and half land mammal. But that's not how evolution works.
Evolutionary concept demands these bizarre changes. Now, that is not observed. Macroevolution is a religion.
No, it isn't. Now, it's clear for us all to see that you are 100% a Kent Hovind fanboy, so that raises the question, are you going to be using all his catchphrases or just your personal favourites? Next thing, he'd be whipping out a mallet and a SpongeBob doll.
Now, microevolution, I would call this just variations within the gene code. There's no new information added, but
new information can be added to a population's genetic code as part of microevolution. Now, this typically happens through mutations, which are changes in the DNA sequence. Some mutations can introduce new genes or new versions of genes, alleles, into a population. And while many mutations might be neutral or even harmful, some can provide advantages that get passed down through generations.
The Bible does say something about this.
About evolution? Now, every fiber of my being wants to say no, it doesn't, but I will reserve judgment until we hear what he's got to say.
Let's see what the Bible says about this. It's very specific. We're the first couple chapters of Genesis. It says all throughout it that animals will produce after their kind.
The exact definition of kind varies among creationists, but it generally implies that whilst microevolution, variations within a kind, is possible and observable, Macroevolution, changes that result in a new kind, is not. But in the creationist view, whales and the land mammals they descended from would be considered different kinds because they are so distinct. But the fossil record and genetic evidence shows a gradual transition, not the separate, instantaneous creation of a new kind.
It says it all throughout it. And it says right here in Genesis 1:24, and God said, let the earth bring forth the living creature after his kind, cattle and creeping thing and beasts of the earth after their kind. And it was so.
You know, it's wild to me that according to creationists, every science book is just a collection of alternative facts about evolution, and it shouldn't be believed. But the Bible, well, that's the unshakable rock of truth. It's like saying every weather forecast is a lie, but your nan's knee pain is 100% accurate for predicting rain. I mean, really, come on. Who needs decades of research on fossils when you've got an ancient storybook on your side?
Genesis 1:21, and God created great whales and every living creature that moveth, which the waters brought forth abundantly after their kind, and every winged fowl after his kind. And God saw that it was good.
Oh my word, you talk about whales more than I do, and I live here. Whales. So the Bible's like, yep, God whipped up these big swimmers, but then evolution comes along with a plot twist. And now your will feelings are all in a twist because evolution doesn't play by the God did it rule book. What the hell's next? Creationists starting a rumor that science failed science class?
What is a kind? So let's go ahead and jump into this.
Whoa, you're actually going to explain what a creationist means when they refer to a kind? Or are you going to give your version of it anyway? Because they're all different.
This is a wolf. And if you look at a wolf, a coyote, a jackal, a dog, you would all look at these. I could bring my 4-year-old or my 5-year-old in here right now, and she would say that, you know what, these are probably all the same types of animal. A dog always produces dogs. I haven't seen a dog produce a non-dog.
Ah, the classic, I've never seen a dog produce a non-dog. What creationists mean by this is they're looking for immediate observable evidence of one species completely transforming into a completely different one, like a dog giving birth to a cat or something. Now, why is this wrong? Well, evolution is like a slow cooker recipe, not a microwave meal. It works over millions of years through small gradual changes, not instant transformations. Dogs do produce dogs, but over vast periods, the accumulated small changes can lead to a new species entirely. And as I've said a million times before, that's a scientific fact, whether creationists believe it or not.
That's a religion. If you want to believe that, you can go ahead and believe it, but this is the stuff that they teach in schools.
We get it, mate. You love Kent Hovind. But if you were to remove your nose from his ass crack for just 5 seconds, then you'd be able to read about why everything you say is completely wrong.
And I'm going to show an image here from National Geographic, says that we all evolved from sea sponges.
No, that's just something creationists say because they're too stupid to actually read the study. Research does indicate that certain fundamental biological elements like collagens are shared across a wide range of species, from sea sponges to humans. This means that while sea sponges and humans share some ancient biological ancestry, it's inaccurate to say that humans evolved directly from sea sponges. I know, shocking stuff. Instead, both are part of a complex tree of life sharing a distant common ancestor.
If you want to believe that, you can 100% believe it.
See, now this is another area where creationists seem to be very confused. Belief is not part of the equation when it comes to what evolution teaches us.
Let's jump in here. Birds. Look at all these different types of birds. Tons of birds. But you know what? It has a common ancestor. A bird. You never see a bird evolve into a giraffe or a whale or a mosquito.
Now look, I hate to embarrass you on a public forum, but the current scientific consensus is that birds are a group of theropod dinosaurs that evolved during the Mesozoic era. So birds didn't have a common ancestor that was a bird, did they, you knob? Billed ducks are a really good example of this. A paper titled Missing Link Ties Birds and Dinosaurs discusses a species of primitive bird that exhibits both avian and dinosaur characteristics, supporting the idea that birds are closely related to and indeed descended from dinosaurs. And this relationship is based on extensive fossil evidence and anatomical similarities, indicating that birds are the only surviving dinosaurs. You know, you should have titled your video, "How many times can I be wrong in 15 minutes?
Look at this. Here's the tree of life. This is from the National Geographic, and this says that we evolved from sea sponges.
No, it doesn't, you liar! You do know anyone can look these things up for themselves, don't you? What it actually says is that this tree of life shows the relationship among common groups of animals. The main branch in this tree, which separates the animals into two distinct groups, Deuterostomia and Protostomia, split about 700 million years ago. The tree shows how today's animal species have diverged over time from common ancestors. It doesn't even imply that humans evolved from sponges. But if we did, you've definitely got some sponge left in your DNA, mainly in the brain area.
Schools indoctrinate people. They do not educate people. And education should be learning all sides. I think if you should either teach both evolution and creation science, or you teach none.
Now look, to be serious for a second, I hear what you're saying. It's really important for education to encourage critical thinking and present scientifically backed theories. Now, evolutionary science is widely accepted in the scientific community because it's based on vast amounts of evidence from different fields like biology, geology, and genetics. And on the other side, we've got creation science, which is based on religious belief and lacks empirical evidence that can be tested and observed in the same way. Now, while it's valuable to understand different perspectives, science education aims to teach students the principles and theories that are the most supported by evidence. It's all about giving students the tools to understand the world through a critical and informed lens. So it's not about indoctrination, it's about education based on rigorous scientific inquiry, of which creation science has none.
That's it. I appreciate you guys tuning in.
Well, I'm glad I did tune in. Anyway, you best get back to watching Kent Hovin videos to see if you can learn anything. You know, like tax evasion, how to lie to people, all the important stuff. So, today's random name is Shisha87. That's the lady with lovely pink hair, if I remember correctly. Remember, if you want to be entered into the monthly draw to win an item of free merch, all you have to do is sign up to either Patreon or channel memberships, like these lovely people have. If you come across a video you'd like to see me react to, then the best way to let me know is to join my Discord server, which is linked below. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you again in a couple of days. Oh, you're still here then. I hope you enjoyed this video and maybe even learned something new. If you did, then you'll probably enjoy this video as well. Don't forget to hit the like button if you haven't already, and subscribe if you're new. And I will see you all again very soon, or in a few minutes if you do decide to watch this recommended video. Love you, bye.